Urban Therapy with Sun 752. And this your daily go get 'em is number 632 for June 26, 2016. Today I want to talk to y'all about badass kids, young and old. Yeah, you know it's real. The other day we talked about no home training, and we know that no home training can go for either adults or for children, or should I say for either children or for adults. It's normally found in children, but those children who don't get that good home training grow up to be adults that don't have any home training. And it's a little harder to deal with adults who don't have it than it is to deal with kids who don't have it. Because with kids, you don't expect them to know it, and automatically, intrinsically, or whatever. But when we talk about badass kids, that's a very subjective thing to say. Because what is bad? First of all, let me start out by saying that even though it's kind of contradictory, I don't think that we should describe kids as bad. That's one thing that my dad always taught to me. Don't call a child bad. Now, I agree with that to a certain extent, but I do believe that you should let a child know when they are being bad or when they are doing things that are bad. Because if they don't know the difference between doing good things and doing bad things, then what is going to give them the initiative to change or differentiate between one or the other? So they need to know when they are doing the right thing, and they need to be praised when they're doing the right thing. And they also need to be chastised and disciplined when they are doing the wrong thing. Now, what I mean by discipline is, they either need to be, pulled off to the side and talked to and made to fully understand that what they did was not a good thing and that they should never do it again. Now, if it repeats itself, then we have to handle things a little bit different, because they're either being hard-headed or they are just being rebellious or just doing what they want to do and being totally defiant, none of which are acceptable. So when this keeps going on, now we're talking about in situations where children are being schooled on good behavior and bad behavior. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes adults think that that bad behavior by children is kind of cute. I always take it back to that Doritos commercial that came out years ago, and this commercial used to get under my skin. Y'all remember the Doritos commercial that came out during the Super Bowl? I can't remember exactly what Super Bowl it was. I'm ready to say that it was San Francisco versus the Ravens, but I'm not sure. Might have been before that. Anyway, in this commercial, little black kid is sitting on the couch watching TV, eating a bag of Doritos, and a man who's coming to visit his mother comes and sits next to him, and he's talking to him or whatever. Anyway, he reaches for the bag of Doritos and tries to take some Doritos, and a little boy smacks him in the face and tells him, "Keep your hands off my Doritos and keep your hands off my mama." Now everybody thought that was a cute commercial, and it's funny that they used a black person to do that, because it was sending a really negative message. Because if we laugh at that bullshit, that means that we accept it. Sure, you can say it's just comedy and it's just cute, but it's not cute. Because if normally things that are cute on TV are cute in real life. In real life, what would have happened if a little kid smacked a grown-ass man because the grown-ass man was reaching for some Doritos that were supposed to be for everybody, and then tells him keep his hands off his mama? Why should a little kid know any negative intentions that a grown man has for his mom? Bottom line is, we have to watch the things that the media gives us in teaching us how our children should act. And we also have to keep our eyes on our kids to make sure that they're to make sure that they're respectful, to make sure that they're kind, to make sure that they're courteous, to make sure that they treat not only their elders and other adults with respect, but that they treat their own peers with respect. See, unlike how some people say that forgiveness is for is for the person that's forgiven, not for the person that's being forgiven. I don't really subscribe to that, but I do believe that respect is for the person that is being respectful. In other words, for example, I choose to be respectful to everybody that I meet, whether they are respectful people or not, whether they have a lot of money or they're dead broke, whether they are homeless or they live in a mansion, whether they are good people or bad people. I'm always going to treat them with respect until the respect that I show them isn't reciprocated and I'm actually being disrespected by those people. Because you have to get into a practice of being respectful, and you have to teach your children. We have to teach our children how to be respectful to other people. In other words, when you treat other people with respect, then you are carrying yourself in a respectful manner, and it shows that you have self-respect. And that's something that's missing with a lot of people out here. Now, when your kids are really bad, when your kids are crazy and off the chain and all of that, I don't mean just being mischievous, because kids get into shit. They're curious. And they should have a lot of space to be able to run around and satisfy their curiosities. They should be able to ask a lot of questions, because that's how they learn. They should be able to run free and get rid of some of that nervous energy that we probably been having them build up by giving them all of these sugary treats. They need a place to release that, but they need something positive. So we have to show our children the difference between right and wrong. Because if we don't do that, then we'll be the ones that have to run up to the school all the time, talking to the teacher. When the kids get put out of class or when they get suspended, we have to be the ones that take them back to school. And then we have to be the one to talk to the teacher or talk to the principal. And we have to be the one to reinstate the child once they get suspended too many times and it's suggested that they transfer to another school or go to a disciplinarian school. We're the ones that have to admit them into a group home facility or have to go down to the youth study center or youth detention center because they've done some crazy stuff because they were disrespectful to authority figures because we didn't teach them any better. And then it's a crazy thing because we don't want to take responsibility when our kids start running wild. We say, I don't know how they turned out that way. But when you get around these parents who don't know how they turned out that way, you see that they never did anything to really take their kids by the collar and make them be more respectful. Show them what being respectful is. It ain't a hard thing to do. But a freestyle person will hardly ever beat a structured person. Hardly. Because when you're freestyling, you gotta be a fast thinker. When you're a structured person, you've already calculated what's going to happen. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule. Bottom line is, you have these badass kids, man. They can mess up any relationship that you have. You invite a man or a woman over to your crib, and your kids are, giving them, they ask to kiss, being totally disrespectful, asking them questions they ain't got no business asking. Talking to them in all kinds of crazy ways, cursing and yelling. It's a really bad reflection on your parenting skills. And some men, because they want some ass, will look right past all that. But it gets worse. It only gets worse. And there are also adults, badass adult children. Like, let's say you have an adult child, 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever the case may be, and they've gotten to the age that they are without you ever disciplining them or showing them the right way to be. And more than likely, you didn't show them the right way to be because you don't know the right way to be. Because nobody showed you the right way to be. So it starts to become cyclical. But let's say you have this adult child that's in your life. You invite your new man over. Or your new love interest over. And your young boy, he just came home from jail, or he just came from off the streets, and he coming in there, basically trying to intimidate your new man, or your new love interest. Like, what's up with you, homie? What's going on, dude? I'm talking to him like he one of his friends. That's a badass adult kid. And like I said, it's a reflection on you. And we can do better with all that. We can do better than all of that. All we gotta do is is play the role that a parent is supposed to play. And I think that once we get to a certain age, we know the right way and the wrong way to go because we see what works and what doesn't work. So if you keep getting fired from jobs and shit, it's probably because you can't control your mouth. Either that or you're lazy, or you think that you're justified for being lazy or being insubordinate because you haven't been taught to play the game correctly. Some people call it conforming. You want that check? You want to get paid every other week? Guess what you gotta do? It ain't hard. But we gotta teach our kids the same thing. Or they're never gonna get their chance to shine. We definitely want to take credit when they get their trophies, their awards, their diplomas, their degrees. Well, the same way we want to be able to take credit for all of that, we also have to take credit for when they be fucking up. For when they disrespecting elders. For when they commit crimes. For when they get locked up for mouthing off at the police. For when they out on the corner selling drugs. For when they can't pull their pants up. Male and female. When they don't know how to talk to nobody. They go into court and they risk being convicted because they don't know how to talk. They don't know that they should just shut up sometimes. And anybody who goes to court knows that you have to shut up sometimes. So, man, that's my rant. I just wanted to talk about that with the badass kids. I could go on for days about badass kids, but I don't really want to. First of all, I believe in today's youth. I believe that they're starving for knowledge, and I think that we can give it to them. I think that we've been holding out, and I think that we feel a lot of guilt because of some of the things that we've done when we were teenagers, and we got to get over that shit. We got to get past that shit. We got to do better than that shit, and we got to show them better than that shit. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours. And remember, when it comes to your badass kids, they don't have to be badass kids if you make sure that you take care of your business while they're young. And badass adults who were kids, they were the ones who didn't get it. And if you're not getting it right now, you didn't get it from somebody, here's your chance to make it right. You can make it right. You can make it right. Yo, shout out to everybody who came out to the spring cleaning event yesterday on June 24th, June 25th. That shit was the bomb. We're going to do it again next time, July 30th. But for now, make sure y'all check out the Mind Right Body Better Fitness program every Saturday. That will be next Saturday, too. So y'all holla at that. Let me see. This is the 26th, so that's going to be like, I believe, July 2nd. That's what it's going to be, July 2nd. I holla at y'all.